There was a funny moment in the show that still got me cracking just thinking about it.
What was that?
It was when Franklin's neighbor, I think the guy was a cop, and he was mad at Franklin, for selling crack in the neighborhood, like, yo, you're destroying the neighborhood. And then, he asked him, how do you sleep at night? And Franklin looked him dead in the eye, smiled, and said, like a baby. Y'all need to listen to this for yourself, man.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Show Express podcast. I'm Dio.
And I'm Sade. Today we'll be talking about Snowfall. The show is done now, so you can catch all 6 seasons on Hulu. Don't forget to follow us, rate us, and share this podcast.
All right, let's get to it. So, let's talk about what the show is about, right? Just a quick high-level overview. The show was set in LA in the 80s and is centered around a guy named Franklin. So, who's Franklin? Franklin is a young, smart, business-minded guy. He drops out of college to become one of the forerunners of the crack cocaine epidemic in LA. Going from a corner street drug dealer to being on the FBI's most wanted list. Can you imagine? That's a huge jump, right? So the show just kind of takes us through how we start from there to there.
Right.
But this isn't just your typical crack in the hood story. It shows the alleged involvement of the CIA selling crack in black neighborhoods to fund a war in Nicaragua. And in addition to that, they show us how the Israeli mafia supplies ammunition to further this cause.
Allegedly, of course.
Always got to put that allegedly, right?
Allegedly.
So this show, you guys might have heard about the director. His name is John Singleton. And I say this lightly. He has a few good shows under his name.
A lot.
A lot. One that comes to mind is Boys in the Hood. That's a very big and popular
Classic.
one, right? So that's the director, Oscar nominated. And sadly, he passed away in 2019.
Where's his soul?
What's interesting is that when he passed away, it was right in the middle of the season. So people were wondering, hey, is it going to be the same now that he's gone? And they did not disappoint. It was still pretty good, even the seasons after. So, yeah.
I would say it's one of those shows where I wasn't mad at the ending at all. Like, the way it ended, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Like, it wasn't like feel goody or just like, what the heck just happened? It was just like, I could see that happening. So it was pretty good. I felt really, really peaceful. Or I felt really rested with the conclusion of the season.
Like, I could live with that.
I could live with that, exactly. So let's talk about some of the main characters. So we just mentioned Franklin. He's the main character, played by Damson Idris. This is one of those catfish British actors. We call them catfish because they come in with this all-American accent, sometimes even like a Southern accent. And then you watch an interview of them and see them in this strong British accent, like a Peckham accent. And you're like, where did that come from, bruh? Why are you playing with me like this?
I feel like we need to start keeping track of how many we have. I think we're up to 2 now, at least main characters.
I feel like we're going to lose count because those are the ones we know.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah, let's not even
It'll
go
be
into
some-
that.
Be some extra in there, has an
Extra.
American accent. And maybe they get a big role one day, and we hear them actually making commentary about the role, and they're like,
Like, nah, you can't switch
well,
up
hello.
on us like that. No. So, respect to his craftsmanship though, because I remember an interview where he said during the auditions he had to walk the neighborhood with director John Singleton to master the accent and do it so well that the folks could not even tell the difference. That's a hard one to crack when you're talking to natives in like LA and they can't even tell if you're British or not. So kudos to him on that. Another main character we have in the show is Teddy. So he played the CIA operative. This was played by Carter Hudson. And he kind of shows the underbelly of the beast, in that how CIA operatives become very dispensable if they start to seem like a liability to the higher-ups, so they lose their protection, they could even get framed and stuff like that. All of this allegedly, of course.
Allegedly.
You need to say that like 100 times. But my favorite character of the show, she was kind of one of the main characters-ish, but that was Louie, played by Angela Lewis. I loved her because she played a strong black female who showed the versatility of black women, from entrepreneurship to sexuality. And she always just got shit done, like mad boss moves. So kudos to her. She killed that role. What was the hook point for you of the show, Dio?
So for me, the hook point was when Franklin went to go buy coke from a guy named Avi. So who's Avi? Avi's an Israeli weapons dealer and drug supplier. At first, when Avi saw Franklin, he didn't take him seriously at all. And he was trying all different kind of scary tactics to get him away, right? So one of them was when he had Franklin wear a bulletproof vest and was going to use him as target practice. And Franklin stood there, bold-faced, like, all right, that's cool. You can shoot me. Well, not necessarily you can shoot him, but yeah, he was like, it's fine. I trust that you will miss, right? So that was a very bold thing to do. And I can't remember if he shot him actually or not or whatever, but I think he actually just said it's fine.
Yeah, I think he shot to his side. He pointed at him, then shot to his side. And Franklin was scared shitless, but he held his own, so
yeah, he did.
great.
And from there, Avi respected him from there on. So that's one. The second, and this was a nice tribute to the motherland, right? So some parts of the last season was actually shot in Ghana. And in this, there was a nice motivational speech that, what's his name? Leon had. And he talked about slavery in Black America. And one of the things that Leon said, I actually have a clip of it. We'll go ahead and play that so you guys could hear. Better to hear from the horse's mouth, right?
Yeah, it was sick.
Sometimes I think it's easier to escape slavery than to escape crack.
How so?
If you gave a slave an opportunity for freedom, they'll take that and never look back. If you gave the same opportunity to a crackhead, they may always look back.
And that was really deep, right? They had so many different encounters with crackheads and so many different, these guys were actual drug dealers, right? From supplier all the way out to folks that were using crack on so many different levels. So for him to say that, he knows what he's talking about and is super deep, right?
Yeah. But on the lighter side, there was a funny moment in the show that still got me cracking just thinking about it.
What was that?
It was when Franklin's neighbor, I think the guy was a cop, and he was mad at Franklin, for selling crack in the neighborhood, like, you're destroying the neighborhood. And then, he asked him, how do you sleep at night? And Franklin looked him dead in the eyes, smiled, and said, like a baby. Y'all need to listen to this for yourself, man.
It's doing real damage out there. And I think you know it. So my question to you is, how you sleeping at night, son?
Like a baby.
Oh man, that's
cold.
probably one of the most coldest scenes ever. Like,
Definitely.
because you thought like Franklin was gonna be like, oh yeah, I see your point.
Yeah, you got me.
You got me. Man.
Now I'm a changed person. It's like, nah, bro.
He looked at him dead in the eyes like, I sleep like a baby.
Eat that. So cool. So cool.
Oh man, I know we've given you so many different hook points and whatnot, but again, like we always do, we'll like to give you a reason why you should watch this show, right? We'll give you the stats, starting with the rating. So it's rated on IMDb as an 8.3 out of 10 and 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. So don't just take our words for it. You can go based off the ratings, which is pretty high, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are high ratings. It has 6 seasons, and the final season wrapped up in 2023. It also has a nostalgic vibe. So if you're into those types of things where you want to see how life was in the 80s, they do a great job of that, right? They're using pagers, the type of music they listen to, and just a general overview of how society looked like back then, right? And also, if you ever wondered how or why people get addicted to drugs, both from the business side and the consumer side, this is a great show for that, right? One scene that we remember was when Franklin was surprised that somebody that he knew so well could get addicted to drugs. And Liam said, it was like, you think we're making this money because this shit ain't addictive?
Check that out.
Oh man, so that was a pretty intense line where you could really see how, you know, drugs could really take a hold of somebody, right?
Yep, true. So we hope we've been able to convince you guys about why this show is a must watch. It has just so many storylines that are intertwined, so many catchphrases, and it's really actually insightful. That's what we have for you guys today. But before we go, we're gonna recommend some similar shows that you can watch. The first one we have is Narcos. You can watch this on Netflix. It has a similar storyline in terms of like it's about a drug enterprise. In this case, it's focused on Pablo Escobar. I'm sure that name is not new to most people. And how he ran his meddling drug cartel. And there's also a spin-off of Narcos called Narcos Mexico, and it's focused on Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo, and it's about the Mexican drug war. So there you have it. Another show we'll recommend is Top Boy. So this is a British show and also highly rated. It's about a drug game, except this takes place in London. You know, you can watch Top Boy on Netflix. It also gives you a view into what street life is and the rough neighborhoods in London. Also what it means to make ends meet, aka selling drugs. I think they call it food. And, you know, you get some British slangs, UK slangs from there. Think like Peckham slangs, huh? We'll do a deep dive into the show maybe in a later episode on the podcast. Fingers crossed.
Well, thank you guys for listening. And just to cue you guys on the next episode, we're going to be talking about, drum roll. All right. We'll be talking about Severance. That's another highly rated show. And we're looking forward to...
Nothing like you've ever seen before.
We're looking forward to getting you guys caught up on it and why you should watch it. Stay tuned. Don't forget to follow us, rate us, and share. Follow us on social media platforms like Instagram and Twitter at Show Express Pod. Thank you guys for listening. Catch you guys in the next one.